Hello dear viewers. Welcome back to TVP Wildlife, the place where nature comes alive through powerful documentary stories from the animal world. Today's documentary article takes you into the elegant, mysterious, and sometimes dramatic life of one of the most iconic birds on Earth, the swan. Often seen as a symbol of beauty, purity, and lifelong love, swans are far more complex than their graceful appearance. As dawn breaks over wetlands and lakes, the daily rhythm of swan life begins quietly. A thin layer of mist hovers above the water, and from within it, large white silhouettes emerge, gliding effortlessly across the surface. This apparent calm hides a complex and highly organized social world, governed by instinct, memory, and constant awareness of danger. Swans are diurnal animals, meaning most of their activity occurs during daylight hours. Early morning is devoted to feeding. With slow, deliberate movements, swans lower their long necks beneath the water, their bodies tipping forward as their powerful webbed feet maintain balance. Beneath the surface, they pull up aquatic plants, roots, and algae, consuming large quantities to sustain their massive bodies. An adult swan must eat several kilograms of vegetation each day, turning feeding into a near-constant task. Unlike many birds, swans rarely rush. Their movements are economical, conserving energy whenever possible. This calm demeanor reduces attention from predators and allows them to coexist with other waterfowl. However, this peace is conditional. When boundaries are crossed, swans react instantly. Social hierarchy plays a significant role in swan communities, particularly outside the breeding season. During winter or migration stopovers, large flocks may gather on open water or flooded fields. Within these groups, dominance is established through posture, size, and confidence. Older, stronger swans typically control the best feeding areas, while younger or weaker individuals remain on the edges, constantly alert. Communication among swans is subtle yet effective. Body language is the primary form of interaction. A raised neck signals alertness. A curved neck and lowered head may indicate submission. Wings lifted slightly from the body can serve as a warning, while fully spread wings combined with loud hissing signal imminent aggression. Vocalizations vary by species. Mute swans, despite their name, are not silent. They communicate through hisses, grunts, and snorts, relying more on visual displays. Whooper and trumpeter swans, on the other hand, are highly vocal, producing loud, resonant calls that can carry for kilometers across open landscapes. These calls help maintain contact between mates, warn of danger, and coordinate movement during flight. One of the most remarkable aspects of swan behavior is pair bonding. Swans are widely known for forming long-term, often lifelong partnerships. This bond is not merely symbolic, it is a survival strategy. A stable pair functions as a highly efficient team, synchronizing feeding, vigilance, and parenting duties. Courtship begins subtly. Prospective mates mirror each other's movements, swimming side by side, dipping their heads in unison. Over time, these mirrored actions strengthen trust. When a bond forms, the pair becomes inseparable. They defend territory together, migrate together, and raise offspring together year after year. Territorial behavior intensifies during the breeding season. A nesting pair claims a section of shoreline or reed bed and treats it as an exclusive zone. Intruding swans, geese, or even large mammals are confronted aggressively. The defending swan lowers its head, arches its wings, and charges forward with as winter loosens its grip and daylight slowly returns. A profound transformation begins in the world of swans. Hormonal changes awaken ancient instincts, and the calm social tolerance of colder months gives way to focus, determination, and heightened emotion. The breeding season has arrived, a period that will define success or failure for an entire generation. For bonded pairs, breeding is not a sudden event but the culmination of weeks of preparation. The pair revisits familiar territories, often returning to the same nesting sites used in previous years. These locations are chosen carefully: shallow wetlands, reed beds, lake edges, or small islands that offer protection from land-based predators. Experience matters. Older pairs, having learned from past successes and failures, tend to choose safer, more strategic sites. Nest building is a collaborative effort, using reeds, grasses, sticks, and aquatic plants, the swans construct a large mound that can reach over a meter in diameter. The nest is built above the waterline to avoid flooding, yet close enough to allow quick access to food and escape routes. Inside, the female lines the nest with softer vegetation and down feathers plucked from her own body, creating insulation for the eggs. Egg laying usually occurs in early spring. The female lays between 4 and 7 eggs, one every 1 to 2 days. These eggs are large, pale, and deceptively fragile. During incubation, which lasts around 35 to 41 days depending on species, the female spends most of her time on the nest. She rarely leaves, relying on the male to guard the territory and escort her during brief feeding breaks. Incubation is a test of endurance. Cold rain, sudden temperature drops, and relentless predators all threaten the eggs. The female turns the eggs regularly to ensure even warmth, while the male stands watch nearby. Any approaching threat is met with swift aggression. Foxes, raccoons, dogs, and even humans who wander too close are chased away with dramatic wing displays and loud warning calls. Despite all precautions, danger is constant. Flooding can destroy nests overnight. Predators may slip through defenses. In some regions, human disturbance causes parents to abandon nests altogether. Every successful hatch is hard-earned. When the eggs finally begin to hatch, the transformation is subtle yet miraculous. Tiny cracks appear in the shell as the cygnets use a temporary structure called an egg tooth to break free. Hatching can take hours, sometimes days. Exhausted but alive, the cygnet emerges into a world vastly different from the safety of its shell. Newly hatched cygnets are covered in soft down, usually gray or brown, providing camouflage against predators. Unlike many birds, swan cygnets are precocial. They can walk, swim, and feed themselves within hours of hatching. However, independence does not mean safety. The parents remain intensely protective. In the first days of life, cygnets stay close to the nest, often climbing onto their parents' backs to rest and stay warm. This behavior not only conserves energy but also reduces exposure to predators lurking beneath the water's surface. Feeding lessons begin immediately. Cygnets imitate their parents, dipping their heads underwater and nibbling at floating vegetation. Though instinct guides them, learning is essential. Parents lead their young to nutrient-rich feeding areas, avoiding deep or dangerous waters. The early weeks are the most dangerous period of a swan's life. Predation pressure is intense. Birds of prey circle overhead, large fish patrol below, and mammals watch from the shoreline. Sudden storms can chill young bodies, while food shortages weaken them quickly. Mortality rates are high, and not all cygnets survive to adulthood. Family cohesion is the key to survival. Swans move as a unit, with cygnets positioned between the adults. At night, families rest together, forming tight clusters. Any threat triggers an immediate defensive response. Parents hiss loudly, spread their wings, and charge without hesitation. As weeks pass, cygnets grow rapidly. Down feathers are gradually replaced by juvenile plumage. Their necks lengthen, legs strengthen, and wing muscles begin to develop. By late summer, they resemble smaller, darker versions of their parents. Learning extends beyond feeding. Cygnets observe territorial behavior, memorizing warning signs and safe distances. They learn how to respond to threats, how to navigate currents, and how to recognize suitable resting places. These lessons will shape their survival long after they leave their parents. In regions with strong seasonal changes, the breeding cycle overlaps with preparation for migration. As autumn approaches, families join larger groups, and young swans experience flock dynamics for the first time. Though still under parental protection, they begin to interact with unrelated individuals, establishing early social skills. Not all breeding attempts end in success. Some nests fail entirely. In such cases, pairs may attempt to nest again later in the season, though late-hatched cygnets face reduced survival chances. Still, the drive to reproduce remains powerful. By the end of summer, the family unit stands as the result of months of effort, vigilance, and cooperation. Each surviving cygnet represents a victory against overwhelming odds, a living continuation of an ancient lineage. Yet the greatest challenge still lies ahead. For as autumn winds begin to whisper across the water, The swans prepare for a journey that will test endurance, memory, and as summer fades and the first signs of autumn appear, a quiet urgency spreads through swan populations. The long days of breeding and raising young give way to preparation for one of the most demanding phases of their lives, migration. This ancient journey, repeated year after year, connects continents, climates, and generations through instinct and experience. For migratory species, shortening daylight and falling temperatures act as powerful biological signals. Feeding intensifies as swans build fat reserves essential for long-distance flight. Wetlands that once felt spacious now host increasing numbers of birds gathering at traditional staging areas. Families remain intact, with parents guiding their young through the early stages of preparation. Migration routes are not random. They are deeply embedded pathways shaped by geography, wind patterns, food availability, and historical memory. Young swans learn these routes by following their parents, absorbing an invisible map that will guide them for the rest of their lives. Rivers, coastlines, mountain ranges, and large lakes become landmarks in a journey that can span thousands of kilometers. Takeoff is dramatic. Heavy bodies pound against the water as wings beat powerfully, spraying droplets into the air. Once airborne, swans settle into steady, energy-efficient flight, often flying in loose formations. They use aerodynamic advantages created by wingtip vortices, reducing fatigue during long stretches. Stopover sites are critical. These wetlands and open fields provide food and rest, allowing swans to recover before continuing. The loss of even one major stopover site can disrupt entire migratory systems, forcing birds to travel longer distances without adequate nourishment, often with fatal consequences. Migration is perilous. Sudden storms can disorient flocks, pushing them off course or exhausting them mid-flight. Collisions with power lines, wind turbines, and buildings claim countless lives each year. In some regions, illegal hunting remains a threat, particularly during migration when birds cross international borders with varying levels of protection. Not all swans migrate. Some populations, especially in milder climates or human-altered landscapes, have become partially or fully resident. While this reduces the risks of long journeys, it introduces new challenges: year-round competition for food, increased human interaction, and exposure to pollution place constant pressure on resident populations. Human activity represents the greatest modern challenge to swan survival. Wetland destruction has eliminated vast areas of breeding and wintering habitat. Agricultural runoff introduces toxins into water systems, affecting food quality and causing disease. Plastic pollution, fishing lines, and discarded hooks entangle and injure countless birds. Climate change adds another layer of uncertainty. Altered weather patterns affect migration timing, food availability, and breeding success. Warmer winters may delay migration, while unpredictable storms increase mortality. In the Arctic, melting ice disrupts traditional breeding grounds, forcing swans to adapt rapidly or abandon long-used sites. Despite these threats, the story of swans is not one of inevitable decline. Conservation efforts around the world have demonstrated that recovery is possible. Legal protection, wetland restoration, and public education have allowed some populations to rebound dramatically. The trumpeter swan, once reduced to a few hundred individuals, now thrives in parts of North America thanks to decades of dedicated conservation work. Protected wetlands serve as lifelines, preserving not only swans but entire ecosystems. When wetlands are restored, water quality improves, plant life returns, and biodiversity flourishes. Swans, as highly visible species, often become symbols of these conservation successes, inspiring broader environmental awareness. Community involvement plays a crucial role. Citizen science programs track migration routes, monitor nesting success, and report injuries. Wildlife rehabilitation centers rescue and release injured swans, giving individuals a second chance at survival. Each saved bird strengthens the population and preserves valuable genetic diversity. The future of swans will depend on balance between development and preservation, between human needs and natural systems. Swans have survived ice ages, predators, and centuries of change. Their resilience is remarkable, but not limitless. Continued protection of wetlands, reduction of pollution, and international cooperation are essential to